But I get ahead of myself. And excuse me, like I said, I may get emotional because I'm talking about the truth of the light. Now, a strange situation is going on. Strangely, at this house, where there is all kinds of pagan gods and evil rituals, statues for every single day of the week and every single day of the year. For every star and every evil sign and every symbol, there is a god that they have created out of their own misguidance. As we told you, in the war between light and darkness, the darkness always lies to you about God. And those who tell you the truth of the light can never lie to you about God. It goes against the very truth of our story that our father Adam, we said, understood from that very first moment that jinn, that other race, did something abominable, as you understand the tale. He lied to him about God. So no person who ever claims to be Muslim or believing in the true light will ever lie about God. That is the most abominable thing, and as I swear to you before the Lord Most High, I will never lie about God. A'udh billah min dhalik. Please, Allah, have mercy on me. But I'm giving you the caveat. I'm swearing to tell the truth, the whole truth. So help me, God. Because now things are about to get strange. Because if anything I've told you so far is true, then now it's time we hear the rest of the story. There's a little reference to you in your own language. The dramatic nature of the rest of the story. Well, to show you what's so wrong is that around the holy house that Abraham and his son Ishmael built, surprisingly of surprises, Allah, the Lord Most High, is still being worshipped. If you ask the evil Arabs of that time, some of them, there were still a little bit few of those people who still knew Allah, the one big God. They called him the great God, the Lord of all gods. He was still being mentioned in this holy house, amazing as that may seem. And it's an important part of this story, because we've said that if the next chapter is true, something dramatic must happen. And so what happens is a sign. Now, we've said that the fundamental is always to go back. That there's only one God, La ilaha illallah. He has made angels and he has made jinns and then he has made man. And man is the greatest of races. And there will be prophets sent all bearing truth of the word, and you are going to live if you are a son of Adam, and you are going to die as all things live and die, as Allah has made everything in this universe. Allah is above all of that. He is the Lord Most High. And everything in this world always should worship the Lord. And the fundamentals continue that your soul will be raised and you will be judged, and life everlasting in heaven or hell. And all of this, we said, is by the plan of the Lord. And so we get to the end, or the next part of the dramatic story, which must be magnificent. From the descendants of Ishmael, still of the noble lineage, is a leader in Mecca. He is in charge of the city. This is the only house on the earth where the name Allah is still being worshipped. And still many people come from all over the earth to come and pray to this holy house of the Lord, even though the corruption and misguidance is there, as I've told you. Abraha, a king in another part of the earth, some would say in Africa, is wanting to build a great temple so that people come to him to worship his gods. And he wants to build and erect a huge temple, and he does. As we said, many people have built and erected places to the worship of the true Lord, and only is it of the truth of the light is when it is true, as Solomon's temple was a great place. Right? We went through the story of Solomon, and if you don't understand the beauty and the deepness of the story of Solomon and some of the mysteries that it should answer for you, then go back and listen to the tale, because perhaps you're not paying attention to the signs. Abraha wanted to have this great temple and know that everybody was going to come to his temple. And he built it. As they say, if you build it, they will come. But that's not true. If you build it, they don't always come. Unless you have the truth for someone to come to. A temple to a false god is useless. A symbol or a sign to a false god is useless. A statue or a cross to a false god is useless. It is only the truth of the light that matters. He built the temple, but they did not come. And so he got very upset and thought, this house of God that is there, the Kaaba, I will destroy it. It must be wiped off the face of the earth. And so, what did he do? He sent his army with huge beasts and elephants to come to try and actually bulldoze the house of God from the earth. But I told you the story has to be strange. It has to be stranger than anything you've ever heard. That even though in this corrupt place, in this strange land where all kinds of new pagan rituals had started to occur, that still there were a few, just a handful perhaps, that still were believing that there is only one true God, and that the name Allah, the Lord Most High, as one of his great names, Allah, the God, and we said that is the term for the God. Even Christians use that term for their God, and even the pagan Arabs, before that which we term Islam now, used to refer to the main God as Allah, the God, even though they had begun such strange practices. The story must be so dramatic and strange that Abraha comes to attack the holy house in Mecca, and the man in charge, of defending the city and taking care and protecting the city, what does he do? He just leaves and tells everyone to leave. Let the army come. Let the army come. We don't need to defend the house of the Lord. The most ludicrous thing you've ever heard. But I told you this place was important. And if you've been listening to the story, you must know why it is important. For Abraham, the believer in the true light of the Lord, built this very house with his own hand. Yet the man in charge lets it go. We don't need to protect it, he says. And so the army arrives to destroy the holy house.